Hi, I lent money to someone in return for post-dated check. After the agreed time, the check bounced. I opened a case with the police. That person got arrested on charges unrelated to my case. He got deported. Do I have any rights and way to get my money back? Yes. Sounds like you would have done this, and this happened a few years ago, because bounce checks are no longer criminal, and bounce checks will no longer be accepted by the police in most cases, and they will not lead to deportation as what you've just described. But that being said, a bounce check is still an obligation by the person who ultimately, by the issuer of the check. But this is very important to highlight, is that a police case will never bring you money back. So a police case in the past would only work by way of leverage. And that is that instead of sitting in jail, people would often feel compelled and creative, and they would figure out a way to pay you money so that they don't need to be in jail. But that's not a direct remedy of a criminal case. And it's the remedy of a compensation is only through the civil courts, not the criminal courts. So what you need to do if you still want to potentially pursue this person is to file a civil case. And as part of the civil case, you would have, and the bounce check is actually a clear example. There's an abridged or more administrative case that you can file on the basis of your bounce check, which means you don't have to go through prolonged litigation. It's called a payment order, and payment order is a case that you can file, and it's an expedited case, if you will, when you have proof of confirmed commercial debt. And the bounce check is a classical example of a confirmed commercial debt. So you can just file that request, and it's done ex parte, which means the other side doesn't even need to be notified. And once you have a judgment, then you'll be able to open an enforcement case. And if you have an enforcement case, as part of an enforcement case, because as you mentioned, the person is not in the country, but what you can do as part of an enforcement case, you can request a travel ban, even if the person is not in the country. You can also request freeze or seizure of any of the person's assets here. And although the person may not be in the country, he or she may still have assets here. It could be by way of real estate, it could be by way of bank accounts, it could be by way of cars or companies, and so on and so forth. Now, even if they don't have anything, it may still be worthwhile for you to have this judgment, because the UAE is one of those places that sooner or later most people actually want to come back. And we've seen cases like this over and over again, that people leave the UAE thinking, we'll never want to come back here, we're not going to settle our obligations because we'll find life better somewhere else. Fast forward a few years and they tend to come back anyway. And so, or they tend to at least fly through Dubai. And in that case, if you have the travel ban, they will be arrested. So in short, it's still worthwhile for you to pursue your civil case, especially because now you have this specific tool. It's called an order and petition, or a payment order, which is an expedited request to the court for compensation. And just have that case there, have it be registered. It will not expire. And so sooner or later, chances are that that person may travel through or may want to come back into the UAE. And in that case, you'll be able to exercise that leverage and get repaid then.